certainly a nice evening. I'm sorry that you had difficulty getting a parking space. But between two playoff games going on in the field with baseball and lacrosse, and with the science symposium outside, and the meeting, kind of a crowded auditorium. But it's kind of nice to see a crowded auditorium to celebrate student achievement. I just want to start out by expressing the regrets of Mrs. Conway, who will not be able to be here tonight. She sent her regrets that she's not going to be here, because nobody would like this kind of a celebration more than she would. I also just want to note that last night, middle school inducted a significant number of students into the National Honor Society. It's a wonderful evening. We've been having concerts, we've been having art shows, we've been having athletic events going on. It's really kind of an electric time of year in the school district. So we thank you for your support, for supporting your children, and for supporting us. I also, while we have a crowd here, just want to let you know that there's a school board election next week, the budget vote next Tuesday, and the polls are open from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. So at this point, I turn the meeting over to the superintendent.
Thank you, Dr. Ryan. So a few years ago, we prioritized getting more opportunities for our students, elementary through high school, to enter advanced research academic competitions, to give students a little bit more of a challenge, especially those who are really up for it, really were looking forward to that challenge. A few years ago, we would have had at this awards night maybe half the number we have here. And I am beyond thrilled that we have so many students here tonight who are being honored for being successful in accepting a challenge, entering contests, doing all kinds of advanced research. I consider myself pretty well educated, and I have a pretty good sense of science, and I didn't understand a lot of what I read outside. That's a good sign. And I'm just amazed at the successes of our students tonight. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Tercy. You're going first, or Dr. King?
So I'm going to take it from here. I'm Dr. Ostroff. I'm the Assistant Superintendent for Curriculum and Instruction. And I'm just so thrilled to see you here, all of our future researchers, our future problem solvers. We have so many unique pleasures to honor you tonight. Everyone being honored is being honored with an award in a competitive regional, state, or worldwide challenge. And so if you look around at the students being represented and coming up here, that's the recognition level that we have here tonight. So you should all be very proud. So first, we are going to present awards to LARC students who achieved international recognition in the Wonder League robotics competition. Students represented tonight represent 12% of 8,000 international participants who qualified for the International Invitational Round. And the following students designed or programmed robots to participate in 4 intensive rounds of competition to earn this honor. But before we honor these amazing recipients, we also have another honoree. So Dr. Fuentes King has received, out of all these 8,000 entries, the Coach of the Year Award.
As you're picking that picture, I just want to make a comment. I did not know about this. That's phenomenal.
I just found out.
Well, I'm so thrilled that we can share it with you. But just anecdotally, I think it's important to share that when my children were little in elementary school, I believe Dr. King had just started. And you had a different name, I think? Yes, Fuentes. You're Miss. And I remember when I met her, first of all, I said, that woman is stunning. But more than that, she was a star. I knew it then, I was a parent, I was enamored by her. My children have had her for different reasons throughout the years, and she has always been just a phenomenal, phenomenal gift to this district. But I just had to take the microphone and tell you, I cannot be more proud. I'm crying.
And now we're going to invite students up. We're going to ask you to hold your applause because we have so many groups that did so well in this competition. And we're going to have our students get up on stage so that you all have great views and great pictures. So we're going to call the names out and ask you to just hold your applause. So phenomenal job, phenomenal work. These are our 4th grade International Wonder League Robotics Competition Invitational Round winners. Madeline Eckert, Daniel Mooney, Riley Pilzak, Grayson Eichen, Carolyn McCarthy, Rowan McLaughlin, Lena Cisco, Jaden Torres, Harlan Werner, Owen Klein, Armin D'Onofrio, Wolf Scagno, Zoe Zielman, Truman Rodebach, Rosalia Heinrich, Jackson Ferraro, Emma Cohn, Kieran Gianfrancesco, Jack Wilsonson, Hannah Montalbano, Jaden Diamond, Kaylee Donahue, Slate Koss, Kylie McDonald, Jack McNicholas, Victoria Montalaro, Murphy Moser, Cruz Nasty, Brody Dowler, and Mason Bermeo.
Arwen. Nope. Yeah. That's good.
Congratulations. One more applause. These are our future programmers. We are also here tonight to recognize word masters on highly competitive word-based competitions. Our team here in Long Beach with Dr. King has scored 7th of 113 teams worldwide. So let's hear it for the whole team. And of these students, there are some outstanding recognitions that I want to have Dr. King present. And so we're going to ask you, Dr. King, to slow down a little bit. Sorry, I can't keep up with you. No, it was wonderful. So we're going to go up, and so again, we're going to ask you to hold your applause. We're going to listen to all the recognitions and give the certificates to the students. Okay, so our first two students received a nationally recognized award this year, and they are Charles Johnson and Savannah Monastery. The following students earned an honorable mention, which means they received scores, cumulative scores that were in the top 10% nationally. Lena Cisco, Joseph Montone, Brendan Smith, Emmett Klein, Colin Cestaro, Noah Johnson, Presley Cavallo, Brooke Varian, Savannah Kohler-Bali, the following students also earned an honorable mention and a nationally recognized score. Theodore Burfin, Mason Bermeo, Brody Dowler, Slade Koss, Jackson Ferrara, Rosalia Heinrichs, Truman Rodabach, Colton Bardolini, Cole O'Connor, Isla Lomatola, Cooper James Kessler, Ella Weiss, Logan Marcus, Fiona Sorensen, and Ariana Cotto. The following two students earned an honorable mention and also earned a perfect score. And if you've ever seen a word master's meet, that is extremely hard to accomplish. And they are Madeline Eckert and Jack McNicholas. The following students earned high honors and a nationally recognized score. That means that they scored in the top 2% nationally. Gia Klarner, Kaylee Donahue, Arlen Denacria, Rowan McLaughlin, Edward Grossman, Lucas Anyacroft, Justin Richter, and Diane Seaman. And the following three students earned high honors in the top 2% and a perfect score. Wolf Scania, Paxton Cavallo, and Micah Schwartz. They're also really helpful at handing out awards because we have to kind of take one and pass it. That's what we're doing. So this next award is called Toshiba Explore Vision. And Dr. Fuentes King, this is her first year engaging in this wonderful work. And we're seeing it as a bridge to all the wonderful research that we have happening in our high school. And so our students engaged in this really deep and meaningful research study of different scientific concepts. And they came together and presented the most incredible work. And so this recognition is just so incredible, and we're so proud. It's so rare in their first year of doing Explore Vision to be honored at this level. So our fifth grade Clark students that you're hearing here tonight are among the top 12%, 10% in the United States and Canada. So what we're doing here tonight is recognizing this high caliber research. And so we also, again, have to recognize Dr. King, who received yet another award from Explore Vision for the incredible work that her students submitted. So I'm really And we're recruiting some help here, so I'm going to have some more colleagues come up and help me get out these awards. We're going to try to keep it going and make sure that everyone gets their photo op. Thank you. So our Toshiba Explore Vision competition, honorable mention here. Cedar Hall, Ariana Soto, Ella White, Jack O'Grady, Justin Richter, Diane Keenan, Savannah Fuller-Malley, Andrew Bowe, Fiona Sorensen, Emmett Klein, Tosh Hadabot, Brooke Varian, Victoria De Silva, Nash Hoffner, Logan Marcus, Micah Schwartz, Cameron Garcia, Zoe Pinto, Harper Tomeo, Sam O'Donoghue, Edward Grossman, Cooper James Kepler, Brianna Cohen, Colton Bardellini, Sullivan Limmer, Isabella Logadicci, Cole O'Connor, Brendan Smith, Isla Lobatola, Kat Gasuna, and Joseph Monson.
All right, one more round of applause.
Thank you, Dr. King, and all of our awardees. It was a wonderful pleasure to honor you tonight. One last round of applause for our award And tonight, just like outside, you saw our science symposium. Tonight, we're also here to recognize the incredible work that was done by Ms. Kristen Conklin and her science researchers with the support of our Director for Science, Christy Tursi. A lot of magic happened this year, and our students were outstandingly successful. And this is just the beginning of an incredible line of research that's going to come from Long Beach School in the next few years. So if you had gone to the poster show, you saw that most of our students there are 8th and 10th graders. And they have been doing serial dilution, looking at different concentrations of substances, learning how to use imaging, looking at model species, and doing real foundational science work that's going to set them up for success. And they've done it so well and in such a unique way that even by doing these foundational studies, they've been recognized with awards. So I'm so excited because the best is yet to come from this group of students. And I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Conklin. And we're going to start with a video that she has created about the research experience here in Long Beach School. So Ms. Tursi is helping us out, and she's going to play it. So featured in the background is our new website that's just published by Ms. Conklin, where you can see all the different opportunities and research that we're offering. And hopefully you picked up a pamphlet from the beginning when you walked in with this wonderful opportunity in science. So some of the awards we actually don't have here today because we're in the middle of research season. So some of the competitions have not quite ended, so we're sending students to Syracuse to compete at the state level in Science Congress. And we also have more awards coming that we're not quite sure of. They're big question marks. So we would award them all today if we could, but we have more winners ahead. So we're going to give the awards that we know our students have already achieved. And stay tuned because I think we're going to be announcing some more.
Dr. Ostrov, just to clarify, they notify us that the students have won awards and that they should come to the ceremony, but they don't tell us which awards. So that's kind of still in suspense.
I'd also like to note that every single high school researcher this year has placed at one of the competitions. So I'd like to note that every single high school researcher this year has placed at least one competition. So congratulations to just all around every single science researcher. I also want you all to know that when I did some digging into the happiest songs, those are the top 2 happiest songs. Right. I'd like to start with the middle school. There are 2 students in particular who, as you can see in that video, stood out at 2 separate conferences that were highly competitive. Miss Noah Olmsted and Miss Thea Olmsted and Noah Kai. Thea and Noah were recognized at the Long Island Science and Engineering Conference, as well as the South Asian American Women Alliance. They placed first and third. The following middle schoolers also placed at the South Asian American Women's Alliance: Troy Moriarty, Nathaniel Nash, Casey Fisher, Sydney Olivia, Victoria Sonona, Riley Verne. Congratulations. The following high school students have been recognized at the New York State Science and Engineering Fair, a very highly competitive competition. Ms. Vanessa Maltez, congratulations for your work with comparative analysis, South Made for Ice, in our South Shore Estuary. Long Island Science Congress finalists, and our 2 students who will be flying to Syracuse: Kayla Piazza and Winter Collinson. Congratulations. We would also like to honor Sam Adler for his work and publication with Journal of Emerging Investigators. Congratulations, Sam. NASA Stanley's Outstanding Science Award, Joshua Cohen.
congratulations again to all of our students. And our large students, I hope that you're watching these guys and thinking about what research projects you can do someday, given some of those big awards and doing those big competitions. We are so, so proud to have this kind of result in our district, with students doing really important work. You know, it's one thing to get 100 on a test, but to do work that gets published in a professional journal or to compete against people who are literally finding cures for cancer and do so well is really a credit to our district. I also have to just call out Dr. King. We already know how wonderful she is, and she was honored for it, but I have to really call out our science director, Percy, and Kristen Conklin. When I met Kristen Conklin for the first time in an interview, I said, we need to hire this woman. She is a firecracker, and she will get our science research program launched to the sky. And she's taken an already good program and made it great. So I really want to thank the both of you for your work. You are welcome to stay for the rest of the meeting if you want, but it is a long meeting, and I have a little friend up here who's already complaining of being bored. So you could either stay for the meeting, or you can have your parents take you for ice cream. It is your choice, and as the superintendent, recommend that choice.
Congratulations, girl. Wonderful. Really is.
And we're going to continue with the meeting, and I would ask Mr. DeVito to proceed with the hearing on our budget.
Thank you, Dr. Hill. Good evening, everybody. So besides the wonderful awards that our students have won, and we have our budget hearing. So the budget hearing is an opportunity for anybody to speak about the budget. The budget has already been adopted, so there will be no change to the actual budget, but this is an opportunity for people to speak about the board's budget before the election and the budget vote next Tuesday. So we have the 2024 adopted budget and revenue projection. And I thought what would be interesting is if we talked about the budget as we see it on the ballot. So if you take a look up the screen, you see the school district ballot for the May 2024 vote. Proposition number 1 is the school district budget, and you see a little blue arrow underneath the 2. And what that shows and what's highlighting is that Proposition 1 has to do with a vote on the school district budget in the amount of just under $156 million. So that's Proposition number 1. Another reason why I wanted to highlight the district ballot is that normally we have maybe 2 propositions, the budget for the school district and the budget for the library. Sometimes we'll have an additional proposition regarding capital funds, but I wanted everybody to be clear that we actually have 4 propositions on the ballot for the vote for next week. Proposition number 2 is the capital reserve fund expenditure, again, another blue arrow that's highlighting an amount not to exceed $1,360,610. And the purposes I'll go through a little bit later when we have a slide devoted to the details of this proposition. But basically what we're asking the community, and we're required to ask the community for permission to spend money that the district already has on hand in its capital reserve fund. So part of the requirements of any projects that are going to be expended from the capital reserve fund is there has to be a vote on a ballot in the form of a proposition put to the community. Proposition number 3, transfer to capital reserve fund, again, a blue arrow there, which shows the unexpended balance from prior capital projects that were in the capital fund in the amount of $755,648. And we're asking permission to take those unexpended balances from a few different projects. Projects don't always come into the dollar of which they're budgeted. And we're asking the community to allow us to put it back into the capital reserve fund for future use. Proposition 4, Long Beach Public Library budget, an arrow there shows an amount that's just shy of $4 million, and that's the opportunity to vote on the Long Beach Public Library budget. Those are our 4 propositions you'll see on the ballot. But I didn't include, which is also on the ballot, is of course the various trustees who are running for school board. But I just was focusing on the propositions. Proposition 1, our budget, where we ended up in this very long and challenging budget season is an increase in the budget of about 2.85%. And you see the dollar variance there between the current budget that I have as the 2023-24 and what's proposed for 2024-25. How are we going to pay for this budget for next year? You see the revenue categories on the left. First is state aid. You see a slight increase there. Thankfully, we did get our full foundation aid, the same level as we have in the current year, nothing more, but at least the same level, no reduction that was proposed by the governor a few months ago. Other revenue category, pretty much level, a slight reduction there. The biggest driver of this category is the tuition that we receive from other school districts, and most notably from Island Park, to the high school students that live in Island Park, but who come to Long Beach High School. The pilot we get from LIPA, about level. The tax levy, that line, you see the increase, the dollar variance of about 1.6 million, and you look at the bottom, the note, that is equivalent to a 1.5% increase, and we think that is a relatively low increase and way under what our cap amount is of about 2.5%. Proposition 2, the capital reserve fund expenditure. These are the details of how we'd like to spend that money. First is $800,000 to replace the turf field at Veterans Field, which is the field behind the middle school. That's just about at its end of its useful life. Although it's still safe, we do want to make sure we have plans to replace it at the end of its useful life. There are some interior doors and windows at the middle school that are original to the building that need to be updated. We need to do some repairs at the bulkhead at Lindell Elementary School. Some acoustical panels need to be installed in the gym at Lindell so that staff and students can hear the public address system more clearly. And we have to remove a fuel tank that's been abandoned at the transportation department. For proposition number 3, again, I explained about the remaining funds of a couple of different capital projects from prior years that we want to now put back into the capital reserve fund for future use. And I just want to take this opportunity to pause for a moment and just explain how we end up funding the capital reserve fund in the first place. When the district ends the year with more revenue than expenses, so it's deemed an operating surplus, we have a choice of depositing into one of our designated reserve funds, such as the capital reserve fund. We also have the opportunity to go up to 4% in our our unassigned fund balance and 4% of the following year's budget, or we can appropriate some money to offset the following year's tax levy. And really, those are our only options. So if we end the year with an operating surplus, we can either max out on the 4%, which is in our unassigned fund balance. We can put some of those surplus funds into some designated reserve funds, such as the capital reserve fund, or we can appropriate it to offset next year's tax levy. Important upcoming dates, next Tuesday, 1 week till the budget vote and the board election. Any comments and questions from the public on anything? Okay, thank you very much.
I have a question, Mr. Vito.
Yes.
Can you just describe what the other designated funds are other than capital reserve?
Sure. We have what's called a TRS reserve fund, which is if we are kind of surprised by a higher teacher pension fund contribution, and sometimes those rates are unpredictable. We have the ability to offset some of the costs that may not be budgeted from that reserve fund. Also for ERS, which is the other retirement system. We also have a reserve fund for workers' compensation. So if we're liable for a certain workers' comp claim, and again, we budget a certain amount every year, but if it comes in where something's settled or there's some sort of an injury that turns into a settlement that's higher than we budgeted, we can take some funds out of that reserve fund. We have what's called employee benefit accrued liability, which is funds if we have a lot of staff separate from service. We again fund some of the separation pay, some of the retirement incentive, but if we have more, because again, it's unpredictable, we never really know how many people are going to retire, we have a fund that's set up for that. So those are a few examples of the designated reserve funds that the district have put aside for a very specific purpose, and only those purposes for the name of that specific reserve fund. Where I like to put funds, because I think that the amount that's in the other reserve funds are sufficient for our level of expenditure, is in capital. And I always, in the past few years, we've been funding that because we have ongoing capital needs. There's one thing that I'm going to bring to the board, it's a good segue for me, at the next board meeting is a repair reserve fund. So I'd like to have a resolution on the agenda for the next board meeting for a repair reserve, and that allows us to put money into that reserve. So if we have a repair item, not necessarily capital, that's beyond what we budgeted in our facilities budget, we'll have an opportunity to use that funding in that repair reserve to take care of whatever repair is needed. And we know we had a few instances recently where we had situations in our buildings with some unanticipated expenses regarding repairs.
Just have one follow-up question concerning Governor's proposal, budget proposal, specifically Tier 6 employees, and what the implications are going to be in terms of benefits moving forward, in terms of our reserve fund in that regard. Do you anticipate we'll be okay? Do we have a significant number of Tier 6?
Well, we do have a significant number of Tier 6 employees. I know it was just recently announced, this change. I think that they're going to roll that in not next year, but the year after. So we have some time to figure out what the implications are for our district.
So is it a reserve fund that we're going to be more attuned to in terms of moving forward?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thanks, Mr. Vito.
You're welcome.
I have a quick question. So it seems there's been some confusion, and I think your segue about the having a fund for repairs is perfect. In that there can be formations of 503Cs or donations can be raised, funds can be raised, and then allocated to certain things in the district. Can you explain if that's possible or if that's not possible, and what the legalities are specifically regarding public schools? I think there's a lot of miscommunication and confusion about that.
Well, I can tell you for one thing, the school district itself cannot set up a foundation, right? So the school district is prohibited from fundraising. We're not allowed to do it. Kids are not allowed to do it as part of the school district. They can do it just in the setting of a club. That's the only way that kids can participate in fund, but school district officials, the school district itself cannot fundraise. Can others set up a foundation or a 501c3 nonprofit for the benefit of the school district? Yes. So that can be done, and then the district can benefit from those funds. In terms of the specific uses of those funds, I'd have to really take a look at what the proposed use of the funds is, check with council to see if it's permitted. But I do know that the district can receive gifts, it can receive funds that have been raised by others on its behalf.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Vito.
Thank you.
Okay, moving right to the agenda.
Doc, can I just ask Michael one more question? I'm sorry, I forgot to ask. I just wanted to clarify one quick thing. Under the removal of the fuel tank, I'm assuming that that is empty and there's going to be no environmental impacts there?
Yes.
Okay, perfect, thank you.
Okay, student organization announcements? Questions, comments from the public on tonight's agenda only? No? Treasurer's report for March 2024, no action necessary. Approval of minutes for executive session of April 2nd, 2024, executive session of April 12th, 2024, and executive session and regular meeting of April 16th, 2024. You have a motion?
Motion.
You have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Ms. Bosse?
Yes.
Pace?
Yes.
Pinto?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Presentations to the superintendent?
I'd ask the board to consider item 1, certificated personnel.
I'll make a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Ms. Bosse?
Yes.
Pace?
Yes.
Pinto?
Yes.
I vote yes.
Item 2, non-certificated personnel.
I have a motion.
Motion.
I have a second.
Second.
Any discussion? Ms. Bosse?
Yes.
Ms. Pace?
Yes.
Pinto?
Yes.
And I vote yes.
I'd ask the board to consider items 3 through 8 together.
I have a motion.
Motion.
I have a second.
Second.
Any discussion? Ms. Bosse?
Yes.
Pace?
Yes.
Pinto?
Yes.
I vote yes.
And I'd just like to tell you that Mr. Epstein texted me that our baseball and lacrosse teams both won their playing games.
Board of Education, additional new all business, if any?
Just a quick comment on the presentation from earlier. I know everyone already left, but I'm just really happy to see the participation in our project-based learning programs, research, critical thinking, teamwork. It's all part of the education program, and I'm really happy that we're really focusing on that type of methodology to improve on our kids' schools and prepare them for the future.
Ms. Pace?
Yeah, I would agree, and I wish that some of the people were still here. I wanted to address it before they all ran out, but there wasn't any time. But really, what struck me is just how the program has expanded so quickly. And that's a real tribute not only to the program, as we could build it, but the kids and their enthusiasm, and also the teachers and their dedication to it. I saw the kids, some of them were lighting up when Dr. King got up there, and it's really amazing to see it, and to be a parent in this district and have a student that has graduated already and see how far we've come. And I thought we were outstanding, 10 years ago, but I just watched this district grow, and I think it's a real testament to the work that's being done by our administrative team, but also the teachers, and then of course our children. So it's just a really nice evening, and I'm really happy that we got to share her award as well, Dr. King. She much deserved.
Just having been around for a long time, I can remember back 40 years ago, science research, it was all boys, all young men. It was certainly a testament, once again, to the presence and the proliferation of young ladies in research and in science. And I think we're sending them a good message. And to me, it was really kind of a revelation to see so many up on the stage and to be commended and to be awarded. Because you did not see that 10 years ago, 20 years ago, and you certainly didn't see it 30, 40 years ago. You probably weren't even here 30 or 40 years ago. But once again, the presence and the proliferation of young ladies in research and science, I think, is just a great and a wonderful thing. Thank you. Okay. Questions and comments from the public? No? Okay, announcements. Mr. Hobby, National Teachers Association.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the board. I'd like to start off by recognizing and congratulating all the science research and law students on their achievements, their awards, and most importantly, their hard work. I'd also like to congratulate and recognize Ms. King and Ms. Conklin for all their hard work in the process as well. regarding the budget. So let's say thank you very much to Mr. DeVito for his extremely clear and detailed presentations throughout the entire process. I'd also like to thank the Board of Education for adopting this budget that supports our students and our schools. Long Beach teachers support this budget, and we hope that the community will come out and support it as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Harry, Mr. Beaver, you please.
Good evening and welcome. Congratulations to all the students receiving awards tonight. Thanks also to the teachers and Ms. Chersey, who's directing the program. Thanks also to Mr. DeVito and the Board of Ed for adopting the budget. And again, we hope that next week that the budget passes. We support that as well. Thanks also to Anna McGovern and Dr. Lorena Deese for the years of service in Long Beach, the dedication to the students and the programs. Best of luck in their future endeavors. They'll be missed. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Beaver. LBSCA? No? Okay. PTA, sorry.
Juliana Carmichael, Amy and I just wanted to share from the PTA's reminder, get out and vote. We all listened to Mr. DeVito, your presentation, absolutely support. Tuesday next week, 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. If anyone streaming from home, I'm sure, isn't sure where their voting place is, it is not the same place as November election. So Lindell, East, and Middle School, thank you. If you're unsure, you can also go to the school district's website under school board, voting and election information, and there's a lookup tool there. And also the library has an open position. So Mary Ellen Barini and Christina Kramer are both running. And then for school board, there's 2 positions. So Kristen McChesney, Alexis Pace, Sam Pinto, and Harold Webb. We had a great forum, and thank you to a lot of people that attended. And it is circulating the recording. So if anyone wants to see it, hasn't seen it, you can email longbeachccpta@gmail, and we'll send you a link. Good luck. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for organizing that. Takes a lot of work, thank you.
Okay, may I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Second? All in favor? Aye. Good night, everybody. Thank you.